Welcome to another episode of AJ's Alternate History podcast. I am your friendly historian Arjun, and in this episode, we will continue upon the events of the Korean War on an alternate timeline. In our previous episode, we discussed about how the Soviet Union indirectly and unintentionally hampered North Korea's invasion plan of the South, and I urge you to go listen to that episode before you come here so that you get an idea of how things transpired. Now, in this episode, we will discuss the alternative outcome of the infamous Incheon battle, which decided the fate of the US and the UN coalition in Korea. Without much ado, let's get into today's episode. Even if the UN forces did manage to arrive in Korea, the Korean People's Army still had a chance to put up a fight amidst this incessant aerial bombardment and crippling naval blockade by the United Nations forces. Let me make a note here that North Korean blitz was centered around effective land maneuvering and little importance being given to aerial and naval warfare. This here in itself demands an entire episode on what were the North Korean Air Force and the Navy doing during the invasion, which hopefully I'll try to make sometime very soon. A major turning point in the first phase of the war was the unopposed United Nations landing at the beachheads of Incheon. Codenamed Operation Chromite, the Incheon landings created a two-front situation for the North Koreans, who were already unable to penetrate the Busan perimeter. The Incheon landings was a very smart move by the experienced General Douglas MacArthur, who, with his prior experience in the Normandy landings, knew that the North Koreans would not expect an attack at Incheon. The reasoning was instinctive. Incheon could only be accessed through two narrow passages leading to the beachhead. The shores were rocky and uneven and was naturally well defended by very shallow anchoring points and often adverse weather and sea conditions. It was also speculated that the North Koreans could have built huge sea walls to prevent an amphibious assault and also could have deployed anti-ship mines. In fact, the other officers who heard of this plan suggested the landings occur at Kunsan or Jumunjin, where the conditions would be much more favorable. But as history has witnessed, anytime there is a difficult target, if both the attackers and the defenders know about it, then the target, it's bound to be the least defended. MacArthur too believed the same, and it appears that Incheon was not defended. So even if the terrain and weather were unfavorable, the North Koreans did not mount a defense strong enough to repel the assault. Now here's where things could have been a little different for the second time. Around the same time, although very less in number, the Soviets had supplied North Koreans with naval mines to defend the coastline. Simultaneously, in early September of 1950, a Japanese-Korean spy was arrested in Japan with documents relating to Operation Chromite. If at all, the documents could have been transmitted to the North Korean military on time and mines set up, or at least the KPA position troops on the spot, the assault could have been easily foiled and would have led to a devastating blow to the American morale. That would have been a showdown for the defending UN forces in Busan, as their offensive strategy had failed. Now that an amphibious landing had been foiled, or at least say defended by the North Koreans would take note and defend their coastline very well. Possibly the Busan perimeter would hold out for say another month until October of 1950 or so, but that would have eventually broken and scores of South Korean refugees would be evacuated to the United States, possibly even Syngman Rhee himself. The USA would likely become the largest nation with a Korean diaspora outside of the Korean peninsula. Curious to know what's going to happen next in this alternate timeline? Well, you're going to wait until the next episode. So why don't you check out my YouTube channel until then? Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to AJ's Alternate History podcast on YouTube and its content. And also don't forget to check out our Spotify channel as well. Yes, we are also there on Spotify. So until the next episode, this is your friendly historian Arjun signing off. Bye bye.